Thanks for staying with us. We continue beyond the headlines, but to the compliments of Flo, and joining me in studio, my technical producers have found a way to put me as a thorn between two roses this morning in studio. Two friends from two different lives or parts in life. Jessy Leonce from GIS days, and Kasha from my days at the Department of Sustainable Development. Our friends are here from SDD, Department of Sustainable Development. Surprised I still remember that acronym, Kasha, SDD? I still remember.
SDD?
The division.
Sustainable Development and Environment Division of the Department of Sustainable Development.
You still have it, Shannon.
And they're here with us today. The ozone layer is on the mend, and the Department of Sustainable Development wants to share this wonderful news with St. Lucia's residents and the citizens. Did you know that World Ozone Day, or International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, has been observed annually since 1994? Did you know on the 16th day of September, this coming Friday, will be the commemoration, the 1987 signing of the Montreal Protocol on substance and depleted the ozone layer. Substances that deplete the ozone layer. 35 years later, the treaty created that halt and reverse ozone depletion has become the most successful global environment pact. Interesting. We'll talk about that treaty and how it has done so. Production and consumption of ozone depleting substances, chemicals, are being successfully phased out and phased down. The work is hardly over, however, as the Montreal Protocol has evolved and focused on addressing another environmental crisis, global warming, through a new amendment. In preparation for World Ozone Day on Friday this week, my guests are here to spread the word on St. Lucia's achievements as a party to the Montreal Protocol, what it means to the average citizens, and the actions that have been taken and can be taken to help address environmental concerns. Jessy, let's start with you. When I got the notification the ozone layer is healing, good news and surprising news. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, it's essentially been an observation that's been years in the making, and it's part of the celebration at the 35th anniversary of the Montreal Protocol. It started out very grim. We were told in the 1970s that there is this hole in the ozone layer that we need to be concerned about, and it's all due to mankind's own actions. And so the effort through the Montreal Protocol, which was created in 1987, was to put a stop to these substances that deplete the ozone layer. And since then, many countries, I think, well, all countries of the United Nations ratified, including St. Lucia. We ratified in 1993. And since then, there has been an arduous effort to ensure that St. Lucia plays its part as a collaborator to the Montreal Protocol. We have been able to phase out ozone depleting substances, the CFCs, what we call chlorofluorocarbons. And we are now on a mission to phase out HCFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, of which Kasha will speak a little bit more later on. We are in our second phase of this effort for HCFCs, and the work has been the work that has been going into it is not unique to St. Lucia. It's been happening the world over. These ozone depleting substances are used in everything from aerosol sprays to the soles of your shoes, to refrigerants, insulating foams, the air conditioners, refrigerators, all of these. And so there has been a move for us, for industries, the industrialized world, to move away from these ozone depleting substances. Of course, we are running into a preference now for substances that are not ozone depleting, but they are harmful because they have high global warming potential. So the Montreal Protocol has evolved.
And there's a new amendment we'll talk about.
Exactly.
How are we going to create that balance.
Exactly, to address other environmental issues.
Absolutely. I'll ask Kasha in just a while, what are some of the specific national activities that we've undertaken over the last decade or so to phase out the CFCs and the 8 CFCs. But Jessy, how much did the COVID pandemic, the 2 years of us staying home, business closing and shutting down, slowing, help repair the ozone?
Repair the ozone. Well, we certainly saw with the Italian waters that it was much clearer. So when overall, I would say the environment was able to get a breather from mankind's activities. But there aren't any metrics to say for St. Lucia specifically.
Yeah, definitely some great in-depth investigation globally.
Certainly, I'm sure we got a breather.
Absolutely, and the ozone was happy for 2 years at least. Kasha, you heard the technical expert. Walk us through the threat of CFCs and 8 CFCs to human health and the environment in particular. How severe are these of a risk and threat to us?
Okay, Shannon, can you imagine walking out and not being able to walk out in the sunshine because you'd suffer from severe sunburn, and the damage to the ozone layer exposes us more of the sun's harmful UV radiation, and that has been shown to cause increased cases of skin cancers in humans and what we call eye disease like eye cataracts. It also has effects on our plant life, on our marine life. So yes, it affects our food chain also.
And what are some of those harmful gases, and how have we been able to phase out the CFCs here? What are some of the national activities we've undertaken?
So since signing the Montreal Protocol in 1993, St. Lucia launched our country program, which highlights the actions that we are to take to phase out CFCs. In the first instance, we phased out in 2008. And how we did so, we implemented legislation to control the import and export of those substances in St. Lucia. So right now, ozone depleting substances are restricted to only importers who hold a valid license. So you have to be registered and you have to go through the process of having a license. If you don't have the license, you cannot clear these goods at customs.
Should we not just ban it entirely if there is that recognized risk, or what system is in place for those registered importers to ensure that they are managing the use of those?
There is a degree of flexibility.
Okay, so we started out with the phasing out of CFCs, and right now these are banned. Then throughout the transition, we moved through 8 CFCs because these were the known alternatives to CFCs. So the licensing and quota system applies to 8 CFCs, and we have a phase-out date for those, which is 2030. I mean, people had equipment that use 8 CFCs, so you cannot completely ban it at this point because people have made these investments in the AC units and these refrigerators. So it allows it allows the technology to come to its end of life. So by 2030, through the licensing and quota system and the reduction steps that we have, we will meet those 2030 targets of complete phase out of CFCs. It's CFCs.
And the refrigerant transition will take time. It's gradual. You can't just shock an industry, a sector with a complete ban. So it has to be incremental.
Absolutely. That's debatable, but you're my good friend, so we're not here for a debate.
Another day, maybe.
Another day, another time, another platform. Kasha, let's talk a little more about the shift that we see now with the protocol. There's a new amendment in place which focuses on not the gases themselves, but other developments in business, in entrepreneurship, in manufacturing, which affect and contribute to global warming. How are we going to strike the balance? What's the intention there?
Okay, so the protocol started out targeting ozone depleting substances, and whilst we're phasing out these ozone depleting substances, refrigerants such as fluorocarbons were introduced as transition refrigerants during the phase out. These refrigerants, the HFCs, they're not ozone depleting, but then we recognize that they have an effect on our climate because they are greenhouse gases with high global warming potentials. So they trap more heat in our atmosphere. Now these HFCs are being used currently. They're the fastest growing greenhouse gases. So of course we need to do something if we have to curb our greenhouse gases and the issue with climate change, because we know as small island states we are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. So the protocol is driving innovation, driving manufacturers and industry to create what we call more ozone-friendly refrigerants and technologies. So the protocol is driving that transition towards natural refrigerants that are zero ozone depleting potential. They do not cause damage to our ozone layer, and they have very low global warming potentials. And they're pushing the need for more energy efficient equipment in the cooling sector, so more energy efficient AC units and refrigerators to help with our climate crisis.
How's the market responding? Market in terms of the suppliers and the consumers of those items. Are people making the switch, or do we expect them to just make the change because it's mandated and part of law?
It's a combination.
So as you know, Shannon, we do not produce any type of equipment in St. Lucia. So whatever we receive is what's being produced in the markets. And these developed countries have the legislation, and by signing the Montreal Protocol, they have the duty to produce more equipment that are ozone and climate friendly. So whatever is being done in these nations will filter over to us because we're importing.
But there is a go ahead, Kasha.
And the protocol, the way the protocol is set up is that these developing countries have targets that are like 10 years before ours. So like when our targets kick in, they've already started.
I wanted to ask about that. So the 2030 target for the HCFCs is not a national target, but
it's global.
It's a global target.
Okay.
And if you notice, the 2030 target is for developing nations. This is our phase out for HCFCs. But developed countries have already done the phase out of those
10 years ahead of us. How are we performing in terms of meeting that target? Are we well on stream, Jessy?
Well, St. Lucia has been, I could even like Kasha said, but we have achieved 35% so far. We've completely phased out CFCs, and we have achieved 35% reduction in consumption of HCFC. Okay. So on the road to being HCFC free by 2030, we are well on our way. We have entered the second phase of the HCFC phase out management plan, and there has been extensive work that has been undertaken in terms of training of refrigeration and air conditioning technicians, engaging other stakeholders like our first point of defense, which is the ports, customs and excise, engaging St. Lucia Bureau of Standards to ensure that everyone is ensuring that there is compliance and it can be enforced. So this will be even more strengthened in the second phase of the management plan. And there will be greater engagement of the rack technicians, as well as the creation of a reclamation center. So the hope is that we have these appliances that can be salvaged, reused, recovered. So there will be a reclamation center where persons can, make use of that space, so that we could keep on using these HCFC appliances until the end of life, instead of purchasing virgin appliances.
Right, which would basically compound the problem.
Exactly.
Building our stock of these.
Exactly. The effort is to phase out, use and reuse and repair whatever we have right now, and then for a complete phase out to not purchase again.
Let's talk to our ordinary citizens and sensitize them a bit, Jessy. When we talk about the HCFCs, because the CFC is already phased out, and the other devices which contribute to global warming, we don't manufacture them here. But let's sensitize people. What sort of items, devices are we looking at, and what is the role? What sort of role can ordinary citizens play in helping you phase out?
Kasha?
Okay, so the equipment right now that would use HCFCs are like old refrigerators, air conditioners that have been there. If you the way you can help to phase out is that if you're looking to purchase new equipment, you would look out for the labels, what would say ozone friendly or CFC free. It's CFC free, energy efficient equipment. So that is what we're encouraging people to do. If you're going to make the investment into purchasing something new, make the investment that would be beneficial to you and the environment.
We're talking about a bigger sustainable development picture here, addressing climate change, even the way we build our homes. So for instance, you may not necessarily require a refrigerant, air conditioner if you build your home to improve aeration. You understand? So these efforts are points to take into consideration. So building of your home, ensuring that you look at ozone friendly, HCFC free appliances, and we have had training for technicians, so they know what are the best practices as per looking out for these harmful refrigerants.
Excellent. We've come a long way. There's still so much work to do. Friday is the commemoration of Ozone Day. What's on the menu? What's planned?
Well, we have a live special. We have so far been doing a press run. We had during the summer what we dubbed at Team DSD a sustainable summer, where we engaged many children during the course of that time, and one of those was the National Ozone Unit within our department engaging kids for a day in a movie and games sort of competitive space. It was to promote an immersive mobile game that has been launched by the United Nations Environment Program. It's called Reset Earth, and it gives us a look into what the catastrophic reality scenario that would have been had the Montreal Protocol not come into effect for planet Earth. So it helps to, millennials like us and the older generations would be aware of the 1970s phenomena that was the ozone hole and all of the hype that was surrounding it. But these Gen Zs, they're not too sure. So just in case, we're ensuring that we put something in place for them to understand and for the sensitization to continue. So we had that summer activity. We've been having the press engagement. We've been in the papers, and in fact, you could make a purchase of The Voice newspaper this morning. I hope I'm not overstepping. And this coming.
Jessy and Kasha, they hot up the press and in the paper.
Yes.
So I'll send you an invoice for that plug on behalf of the Voice.
Make sure you get a copy today. We do have a wonderful spread just letting you know everything that we've spoken about today. And this coming Friday, we have a live special on NTN where we will be having a panel discussion on the refrigerant transition, trying to break down the parts. It's going to be highfalutin information, high scientific information for the general public to understand, and how citizens can be part of this movement, because it's more than just a legislative and policy high-level activity that is happening. There is work on the ground to be done, even at the household level. So we want to engage them on that. And we will also be speaking on the Reset Earth mobile game. We will be speaking about the Montreal Protocol overall. We want to give away some exciting prizes, so we want everybody to tune in to NTN on Friday morning as we celebrate.
That's after my show.
Certainly.
Tune in after my show.
Certainly. But in the meantime, you can go onto our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, to get updates.
Thanks, Jessy. Kasha, as we wind down, finally from you, what do you say to our citizens? Life would be a whole lot better if we begin to take those steps and phase out those
of course, we
CFCs, CFCs, and the other ones that are now becoming a threat.
Well, all I can say right now is that we are very excited to be part of these efforts that have contributed greatly to ensuring and protecting all life on Earth from these harmful ozone depleting substances. And the work does not stop here. We have a duty and a responsibility to ensure that we do our part to mitigate the climate crisis, and also that we just ensure that we leave this planet healthy for the future generations to come.
Kasha and Jessy, I want to thank you. There's so much more, but you will be back. And let me say to my CEO, who I know is watching, you will be seeing a lot more from the Department of Sustainable Development on the platform and on the channel. Thank you guys for being
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, Shannon.
You're most welcome, and all the best on Friday and in your continued efforts in keeping us healthy and safe and protecting the ozone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessy and Kasha from the Department of Sustainable Development. Hi to all the staff and management of SDSD as well. I know they're tuned in and so proud of how you guys have represented this morning. So hi to everyone down there. 3 minutes before 9. I've set a very, very demanding schedule this morning. I want to keep. I still have to make one more call. So let's take a quick break. Beyond the headlines this hour is brought to you in the kind compliments of Flow.
Thank you very much.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
A young man from Bagatelle is dead. Calls on the public to not stigmatize his fatal accidents along the Brixton Highway. News from Shazli welcomes the scrutiny of its CI. One man is in police custody following the shooting death of the wife of a police officer.
Look out for the Midday News with Daniela Edwin on Hot 7 TV.
Know your limits, then defy them. At Studio Fit and Healthy 911. Whether as a sunrise 911 at 5:30 a.m. or a sunset 911 at 5:30 and 6:45 p.m., we have a variety of group fitness sessions available Monday to Saturday to accommodate your fitness goals. Not into group fitness? No problem. One-on-one sessions are also available. Want to work out with a small group of friends? Yup, we've got you too. Studio Fit and Healthy 911, located at Bois Groselet, offers a clean, safe, and judgment-free space where you can just be. Be you, to do you, for you. Call 758-486-8979 to become a 911er today.
Sometimes life can knock you off the ground, but surprisingly, an encouraging word can hoist you back to your feet. What we all need is someone in our corner, someone like Dr. Tonji.
Hi, I have 3 questions for you. 1, have you discovered your purpose? 2, have you discovered your ability? And 3, are you planning your life's path?
Dr. Tonji has inspired audiences on radio stations throughout the US and in the Caribbean on Kiss FM with the Dr. Tonji Show. Now, sister station Hot 7 TV teams up with Kiss FM to bring the Dr. Tonji Show to television.
I will share my wealth of experience, my affinity to life, and assist you in fulfilling your call. By tuning in to the Dr. Tonji Show on Hot 7 TV and Kiss FM, you and I will begin to explore the answers to these questions and many more. And in these challenging times, it's just what the doctor ordered.
Mourning a loss? Hot 7 TV wants to help you celebrate the beautiful memory of your loved one with In Loving Memory, Celebrating Lives. Whether it's a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or some memorable occasion, or the anniversary of the passing of the dearly departed, Hot 7 TV will create a moving video tribute of that special person, showing how much he or she meant to you. Treasured memories, unforgettable moments. Share them with the world and repeat the airing as often as you'd like. Help keep your loved one's memory alive forever in the minds and hearts of all who care. In Loving Memory, Celebrating Lives. Contact us at telephone